Hello, 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 hello. I am back
Hello.
again. My goodness, you guys have seen so many videos from me lately, sharing experiences that some of my soulmate clients have had inside of the Soulpreneur Intensive. And I have another one for you because why not? If somebody is enjoying their experience, then I definitely want to share that with all of you. I know that if you are watching, then you're here for a reason. There's no such thing as a coincidence, and you're meant to see this. So trust that. And I'm excited to see what my friend and client, Catie, has to share today. So, Catie, why don't you start by just introducing yourself, telling us where you are and how you help your soulmate clients?
All right. Well, I'm Catie, and I'm from West Kelowna, British Columbia, local with Jenny here. And I have shifted my expertise to helping stressed out moms just find peace and calm in the chaos and let go of worry and anxiety and really step into their full selves. Just be the best self that they can be.
That's so beautiful. I remember even when I was a fat loss coach, Catie, the number one thing that my clients would tell me is, I feel like I've lost myself. And when you say you help busy mamas find calm in the chaos, that's what I hear. Like you help
Yeah.
them find
Because
themselves.
that's what we do. We lose ourselves in motherhood, not even just motherhood. This just speaks to people in general, but we lose ourselves in our lives. And I did that. I lost myself so fully before. And when I found myself, when I pulled myself out of that shit that I was in, I knew that I had to do this for other people.
I love that you said that because there are a number of people watching right now who are not coaches yet. They're not mentors yet. They know that they've been through this thing and they know that they are here to make an impact, that they're here to help people. They have this desire and this drive to help people. And I love so much that you highlighted that because I think that's so important. That is what we're here for. We're here to help people through what we've already been through ourselves. And that
Yes.
was your experience.
100%. Yeah. And it was beautiful. And it still is.
Absolutely, my journey. Catie, you are near the tail end of your 16 weeks. So you're still in the
Yeah.
16-week Soulpreneur Intensive program, which is awesome. So we're catching you while it's still fresh and
Yeah.
still very much prevalent in your day-to-day life. So if you can bring yourself back a few months ago when you were considering joining the Soulpreneur Intensive, can you
Mhm.
share with us where you were at in your journey, where you were at with your business, and why you were considering joining this program in the first place?
Okay, so I have taken numerous amounts of business mentoring in the past, and none of it aligned. But because none of them were wrong, they were all right for somebody. But I always just found myself saying, like, none of this works for me. Like going by what everybody else is doing, the right things and what the gurus say, it just wasn't working for me. And when I started to try things like outside of the box and that would go against what my other mentors said, it started to work. But I was still left with what's going to work for me. There was just an overwhelming amount of options of what to do, and I knew all of it, but how to piece it together and make it work for me, I just had no clue. What attracted me, honestly, I went mostly on feeling. Like, we had one quick conversation, and I'm like, I'm sold. Like, I've seen a video of a friend of mine who was also in the course, and I really have learned how to trust my intuition and my energy and what I'm feeling. Um, but what I got from the course is something that was tailored specifically to me. And you taught me how to trust myself more and use my own gifts. And so now it gave me a direction. It took all these different things that were just floating around and very, very overwhelming and was allowed me to pick and trust that what I was picking was for me. And so, while I can't say that I'm doing anything special and new that I haven't learned before, I have calm, clear peace of mind knowing what I'm doing. And I just so freaking thankful for what you offer everyone in the group, but what I've taken from it. I haven't applied myself like I know I could and that I know I'm going to, but already in this, 14, 15 weeks, I've received more than I have in the years of coaching that I've gotten in the past. So thank you so much.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And I can see there's a bunch of people watching now. So please give Catie some love down below in the comments. I'm super grateful that you shared that because a lot of you know that I've been mentoring for nearly a decade now. And one thing that has always been really important to me is to not create cookie cutter programs, whether it was in fat loss or spiritual alignment or here in business. Yes, in business, there is a framework, and I do teach
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, there's some foundational pieces because you can't build a business on a weak foundation. It's just going to crumble. It's like building a house. You have to have those strong foundational pieces in place. But what my number one intention is to empower you to trust your own intuition, because we all have the answers within us. And the Soulpreneur Intensive isn't just a program that gives you the structure and the how to. It also really helps you navigate your own spiritual journey, as Catie has shared, which helps you to learn how to trust your own intuition better. And I think that's hugely valuable for all of us.
Yeah, and now I'm taking steps that are aligned with me and my highest good, where before I was pushing and forcing these things and doing things that I didn't like, that I wasn't liking and I wasn't really feeling, but I was like, oh, but this is what everybody else is doing, so I have to do it too, right? And it just didn't feel right. And I can't say that, well, I'm still overcoming, going live and doing those kind of things. I'm, breaking down those walls of resistance. Um, I'm not doing anything that doesn't feel good and that doesn't feel right. And yeah, like you said, just trusting my own intuition and not forcing it when it doesn't have to be done.
That's right. And this will definitely help get over the butterfly and the stomach feeling of going live. So
I'm
I'm
live.
exactly. Yes, we are. Um, so Catie, again, you're like 14 weeks and 15 weeks into the program. So you've been doing it for a while. What has been the biggest surprise for you about the program? And you may have touched on that a little bit with the last question, but coming into it with the expectations that you had, and then now living it and doing it and experiencing it, what has been the biggest surprise for you?
Surprise. I can't say that I was really surprised about anything other than my own gifts. Actually, I would say me, that I learning about myself was the biggest surprise, where I knew some things, um, but I was just touching the tip of the iceberg there. And through the work with you and what you've taught us, and that's another thing that I absolutely love and I resonate with, because this is what I do too, is I I don't just preach and teach. Like I'm showing you, you're showing us how to do this and how to do it on our own, for that matter, so that we're not going to, always need to fall back on you and always need to be messaging you and calling you and stuff, right? So I find, and you may have even noticed, like where I am reaching out less because I'm trusting myself and doing that more. And I'm surprised at how well that has actually worked and what I have inside of me. So I think that that's what really surprised me the most.
Well, thank you again, because this really, really helps to validate my intention of empowering. Even though this is called the Soulpreneur Intensive, my brand is still Sacred Self Empowered, and that is the energy behind everything that I do. I really want to help empower you to know that number one, business doesn't have to be all hustle and grinds. Number two,
Mm.
you have these gifts. Number three, you can utilize these gifts to attract your soulmate clients and do business with ease and really, really begin to co-create the life that you're meant to have with the universe. And, I just want to touch on desires. Like we have these desires to help. We have these desires to serve. We have these desires to have abundance and prosperity and wealth. And if we didn't have the desire, then it wouldn't be available to us. So I think it's
Mhm.
important to be empowered in these gifts and knowing what actions are the most aligned for us to take so that we can align with our desires.
Yes.
Okay. If you were talking to somebody, I've got a whole bunch of people in my calendar for the next couple of weeks who are looking at the Soulpreneur Intensive for the month of June, and we're gonna be over here really quick. We've got 2 Mondays left in June for those who are ready to get started on Monday the 17th or Monday the 24th. If you were talking to somebody who had already had a call with me and they're like, okay, I'm not sure if I want to do it. I talked to Jenny. I might want to do it. I might not want to do it. Are there any words of wisdom that you would share with them from the perspective of somebody who is in the program?
Well, one, I would say get out of your own way and just trust. Like a lot of the times we build it up and I'm like, oh my God, like, should I invest in myself? Like, is this something I really want to do? Is this going to work? When really our higher selves are speaking to us. And if we could just get out of our own way, and I feel that's really what I did with you, is I didn't even think about it. I just felt about it. And it was like, there was no denying it. Um, and two, I do this for yourself. Seriously, find out what Jenny can do for you. I got a little peeker in the background there. Find out what Jenny can do for you because it's not about, I don't think it's necessarily about the business. It's about, like you said, empowering us, empowering yourself so that you can do whatever it is that you want to do. So just do it. Just try it.
and make
Trust it.
the and make the impact that we're meant to make. And I'm
Yes.
glad that that was what you shared, because for so many of us who do feel lost and disconnected, trusting ourselves might not come that easily. I
No.
always say on these calls, if I were in your shoes after I talk to somebody, I don't need them to make a decision right there on the call. It's nice if they can, because then we can bypass the ego when we can make a decision right away. We don't have time to have like, oh my God, I have buyer's remorse, or I'm having second doubts, or anything like that. But I always say to people when we have these calls, take your time with the decision. Just let me know by this time tomorrow. Meditate on it. Just meditate
Yeah.
on it. And if you're somebody who struggles with meditating, go have a shower and think about it. Because a lot of the times we will actually meditate in the shower. We'll
Yeah.
naturally get into that meditative state, or go for a walk in the woods and just think about it and see what answers come. And put the intention out there that I'm going to make a decision by the time I'm done this shower, or I'm going to make a decision by the time I'm done this
Mhm.
walk. All
But like you
right.
touched on there, that whole like the whole making the decision on the call, like I know that I was a yes when we hung up, but I didn't say it because the ego was there. So trust that initial feeling. I've had calls with business mentors and just other coaches where on the call it was a no, but I didn't want to say no. I felt obligated, like, oh my God, like I had this call with them, they invested their time. I better say yes and give them all my money, right? And so, but I needed to trust that initial answer. And then, yeah, I went and meditated on it and still kept the ego out of the way. And the answer was still yes. So,
Beautiful. Trust your
yeah,
senses. That's what I hope everybody takes away from this, because
yeah.
we felt in her body that it was a yes before her intellect had an opportunity to overtake. And we all know that the ego is residing in the mind. So it's important to listen to your body and not always the mind that tries to
Hmm.
rationalize things and keep us safe inside of that comfort zone. Nobody can grow when we stay inside of our comfort zone. So Catie, I'm so grateful that you took the time to share
Of
today. I
course.
that we've still got a little bit of time left together, and I'm excited to continue to support you in your business. I know that you're here to make an impact. And if you are a busy mama who is looking to find some calm in the chaos, then take a look at Catie. I'm going to tag her in this video, and you can look her up on social media, add her as a friend. You don't have to be local to the Okanagan. I know that my reach is all over North America, and that's okay. We
Hmm.
are online mentors, so our soulmate clients are spread out everywhere. Any last words before we wrap up, Catie?
Thank you. Yeah, I just, like I said, full on gratitude for everything that you've offered. And I'm really feeling grateful for myself too through all of this. And that is an extension part of what you've done. So, yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you again so much. I'm so grateful that you shared all of this, and I receive your thanks and gratitude. I appreciate you.